Samba, which is the kind of the protocol that all Windows machines share networking across. So click that. Over here, all the way to the far right, you'll see a box that says enable. And believe me, I've missed this 2 or 3 times the first time I was trying to set all this up. I was like, what the heck? I can't do nothing. So by default, it's not checked, so you need to check it. And then under authentication, choose anonymous. You can give it a NetBIOS name, whatever you want to choose as. That's what it'll show up in Windows under networking. It'll show up in Windows. So we just have it set as freenas. The default needs to be work group. Depending on how you have your Windows XP machine set up, you may need to change this. For instance, if you have Windows XP Home or some of the home editions of Windows Vista, Windows 7, the default work group name is MS Home instead of work group, so you might need to experiment around with that. Description, freenas server, you can leave all this stuff the way it is. No reason to change that. No reason to change any more of this. You can leave this set as a time server. That's actually really functional for Windows. What that basically does is freenas acts like goes out and fetches the time from a predetermined list of servers quite often and lets Windows know what time it is. So it keeps your Windows machines that are on the network right on time. Good deal. Scroll down here, leave all these the way they are. You want to enable large read and write, enable use send file, enable extended attribute support, and enable store DOS attributes. And then the rest you leave the way they are. Go down here to save and restart. Now what this is going to do, is save these configuration parameters, and it's going to restart the Samba service. The changes have been applied successfully. So we've got our now what we need to do is go over to the Shares tab. Okay, so now we're at the Shares tab. We've clicked the Shares tab. This is what we see. It's a blank, completely blank shares, because let's review what we've done now. We have initialized the disks in the disk management area. We've mounted them so that they're mounted in the operating system, which is FreeBSD, which is what freenas is based on. And now we've activated the CIFS /Samba server. But we need to, now that we've activated the server, we need to set up a SharePoint. This is kind of like what most Windows machines do when you set up a SharePoint. So again, over here, this is a familiar theme, getting familiar now, isn't it? Click the plus sign. It's going to ask you the name for the share. Well, you could name this anything that you want the drive. It depends on which drive you're going to be accessing, which mount point you're going to be accessing. For me, see, I know I'm going to be accessing the 40 gig drive, so I'm going to click this little dot here. It's going to bring up a window. And it's going to say, it's going to give me a choice. If you had more than one hard drive in here, it would give you a choice, a list of what to click on. So I'm going to click on that IBM 40 gig drive, and then I'm going to click over here and click on OK. And now you can see that what it's done is that's the path that's shared on this machine. So I'm going to give it a name, and this is what it will show up as in Windows under networking. So I'll just say photos. We'll say photos. You can put a comment here if you want. I'm just going to say pictures. What else are you going to say for a comment for photos? You can set this as read-only if you want. You definitely want to do set browsable, otherwise you won't be able to get into it. Permission inheritance you want to set up. And I like to enable recycle bin. What this does is creates a recycle bin on this drive that you have in the machine, or on this mount point that you have in the machine. That makes it so that when someone deletes a file, it's basically like the Windows recycle bin. When someone deletes a file off of that network drive, it doesn't actually get deleted. It goes into a hidden folder named appropriately enough recycle bin, and then you as an administrator can go in and delete it later, or the end user can go in and delete it later. It just kind of gives you a second chance, and I like to enable that. You know, because there's been times where I've deleted something and, oh crap, I can't believe I just did that. So, yeah. Hide dot files, you want to check that, definitely. Also, I host and that's all advanced configuration stuff that's out of the limit of this how-to. So now all we want to do is click add. And it's going to wait here for a minute. You'll see down in the browser corner it's waiting for 192.168.1.250. This is going to be a really long how-to. Just hang in there. It'll be worth it for some of you. So here we go. Familiar theme. We've made our changes. There are changes in software at this point. To make them permanent, we need to click Apply Changes. Remember this. If you don't click Apply Changes, they're not going to get done. And that's it. It'll tell you the changes have been applied successfully. And now, we should be able to access this shared 40 gigabyte drive from this Windows machine. So I'm going to open up Windows Explorer. Watch it not work. All this work would be for nothing. I'm going to go to Network, see what shows up. Come on, don't fail me now. Yeah, of course it was the fault of the Windows machine. If all else fails, reboot Windows. That's what I just did. So again, you might need to reboot all the Windows machines on your network for them to see the new freenas. So in Windows, generally now what you would do is go down here to in your Windows Explorer folder or Windows Explorer window. Go down to Network, and it shows up as different things. In Windows XP, I forget what it's called. It might be Network Neighborhood or something. And you'll see, along with the list of the PCs in your network, you should see freenas, or whatever you chose to call your freenas box in the steps earlier. And if you go to that, well, looky there, there's photos. Of course it's empty, because it's an empty hard drive, but all you got to do is start storing photos on that drive. So here's my another Windows Explorer window. Here's my pictures folder. Find something with lots of pictures. That's got a lot of video. That's going to take too long to copy over. Do I have anything with just pictures in it? Holy crap. You guys know how much I do video. This is all raw video. Here's some pictures. I'll just copy a few pictures over just to show an example. These can be folders full of pictures. You can set up a whole structure. So I've got 7 or 8 pictures here highlighted. So I'm going to take them and drag them over to this window, and it's going to copy them right over the network. Now obviously the faster your network connection, the faster this copying process is going to go. So right now this is on a 100 megabit wired Ethernet connection. I plan to soon enough go gigabit, because gigabit not only are gigabit switches extremely cheap, you can get one for 30 bucks on Newegg, TrendNet brand I believe, but gigabit network cards are like 9 bucks, and most newer motherboards are coming with gigabit networking on board. My motherboard in my personal machine, again the one behind this monitor, actually has dual gigabit.